All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about a really fascinating philosophy, one that's built for a world that, let's be honest, often feels pretty broken. It's intense, it's powerful, and it's called the Spiteful Good. Right off the bat, I know what you're probably thinking. Goodness and spite? Those two words don't seem like they belong in the same sentence. How can something virtuous, something good, actually come from emotion we usually think of as, toxic? Well, that's the exact paradox we're going to explore today. So first things first, we need to get on the same page. What in the world does the spiteful good actually mean? Let's break it down. Okay, pay close attention to the language here. This isn't just about being nice when things are going your way. It's a determination, a fire-forged will. And the absolute key to the whole thing is that little phrase, in spite of. This frames goodness as an act of rebellion, a conscious choice you make against a world that's pushing you to be cynical and cruel. And this comparison really draws a sharp line in the sand. You've got your passive kindness over here, right? It's born from peace. It kind of expects the world to be good back to it. But the spiteful good, that is born from pure defiance. It expects absolutely nothing in return. It's not a reaction to harmony. It is a direct, deliberate response to injustice. So let's be crystal clear about this. We are not talking about softness. We're not talking about being a pushover. This philosophy takes morality and turns it into a strategic tool. It's weaponized. Morality with an edge. Okay, so you might be wondering, how do you actually do this? Well, it's not just a cool-sounding attitude, it's a practical process. There are 4 tactical steps to it. Think of this like a kind of mental alchemy. It's fascinating. You start with the absolute worst stuff. The pain, the betrayal, the injustice, that's your fuel. But instead of letting that fuel turn you towards revenge or despair, you consciously run it through a filter, your own personal code of ethics and morality. And what comes out the other side isn't more negativity. The output is action, aid, justice, courage. And the final result? You achieve a kind of strength that can only be built by facing down adversity with your principles intact. So we've got the how, but honestly, the why is where this whole philosophy really shows its teeth. Why would anyone choose to live by such a demanding, difficult mindset? Wow, I mean, this right here is a challenge to every single one of us. It forces you to ask, are my values just pretty decorations that I hang up when it's convenient, or are they actual weapons, tools that I use when things get tough? This philosophy argues that real values aren't the ones you display in a glass case. They're the ones that have been tested by fire. These core tenets really drive the point home. Goodness isn't something we're born with. It's a choice we have to make again and again. And I love this idea of spiteful dominance. It's about refusing to let the world's cruelty dictate your own behavior. But that last line, man, your integrity is your war flag. You plant it where it does not belong. That is what it means to claim moral high ground in a place that has none. And this is the ultimate commitment. This is the personal vow that sits right at the heart of the spiteful good. It's an internal promise you make to yourself that doesn't need any applause or validation from the outside world. You do it simply because you said you would. Okay, let's bring this down from the philosophical clouds and get really practical. The source actually lays out a daily challenge, a drill, to help you build this mental and moral muscle. Now, the task itself sounds simple, but look closer. The execution is incredibly hard. The most important detail is that the person or situation doesn't deserve it. Why? Because that completely short-circuits our need for a reward or a warm, fuzzy feeling. You do the act deliberately, and then you walk away. No fishing for thanks. The action itself, the integrity of it, is the point. And after you've done it, the work isn't over. Then comes the really hard part, self-examination. You have to ask yourself, was that an act of power, a genuine expression of my own principles, or was it just pity, something condescending that actually made me feel weaker? It's a really crucial distinction to make. This all leads to another key concept called hard mercy. Now, this is not the soft, gentle mercy we usually picture. This is mercy that comes from a position of incredible strength. It's the goodness wielded by someone who absolutely has the power to destroy, but makes the conscious choice not to. And that's exactly why it's called a dangerous virtue, because it's a virtue that has real power behind it. So where does all of this lead? What's the end game? Well, It all boils down to a final, fundamental choice about who you are going to be in this world. I mean, this is the goal, isn't it? To be so solid in your principles, so unshakable in the chaos, that your very presence becomes a force for good. To be that person the world is genuinely lucky to have standing on the line when everything else is falling apart. This is that moment of truth, when panic hits, when people scatter, when the cruel and the opportunistic move in to exploit the chaos. The person who embodies the spiteful good doesn't run. They don't give in. They hold their ground. They stand guard over their principles in a world that has thrown its own away.
And here it is, the ultimate reason why. It's not about trying to save the world or be some kind of hero. It's about saving yourself. It's a deeply personal, stubborn refusal to let the cynicism, the cruelty, and the chaos of the world corrupt your own character.
And so, that leaves us with one final, simple question. When things get tough, when it would be so much easier to just give up and walk away, will you choose to plant your flag and stand guard?